and all it is two flaps with the corset closure and a little book that pulls out inside. Now if you are more advanced, you could add this as a pop-up. You could put a pop-up in here. You could add extra flaps that go across, so there's lots of different things that you could do if you know, you didn't want to just keep that as plain as it is. Now I've had it this plain because I like in my books, I do like to have one page that is the va-va-voom, and then one page that is just very plain and simple. And the one that's the va-va-voom with, I don't think that's right, the va-va-voom, I still don't think that's right. Please don't laugh at me. So so we've got one page that's the wow factor, and then one page that's quite plain and simple. So with that, then it then balances your album out, so it doesn't mean that you've got pages that have got lots of flips and flaps. We're going to be working on page 5 as well, and that's the cube pull-up cube page, which as you open it out, I've done it this way so that you can see, because I don't think you see it so much that way. It doesn't really, you haven't got that effect. So it's the cube page that when you open it, the cubes are 3D on your page, and they open out. So I'll show it from the back as well so that you can see, and then that just gets folded down into your page. And it's just one of those wow factors, because whoever you give your books to is definitely not going to have one idea that you would have a pop-up that would come out of the page like so. So it's just a really, really good wow factor page. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really does make all the difference if you just hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and also give me a like and a comment. It really does boost my ratings on YouTube. It really, really does. And it makes it so that I can keep doing my videos for free, and because I don't want to charge for them. But the more people that subscribe and get my channel out there, the more hope I've got of YouTube's algorithm showing my video to more people. So I do really appreciate it. If you're a subscriber already, thank you ever so much. I really do appreciate you. Now I'm working from our PDF, because what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut out all my pieces for these 2 pages. Now I have got a few amendments in the PDF. Now if you've already cut your PDF, if you've already printed your PDF guide out, then just take down these amendments. So on page 4, on page 5, I've had there the score along the long side. What that should be is score along the 7-inch side, okay? And then that is that one amendment on page 4. And then page 16, no, it wasn't page 16, was it? Yes, page 16, I didn't add in the base page for page 4. So the base page of the patterned paper is 6 5/8 by 6 5/8, okay, on that one. And then on page 17, we've I've not added in the other side of the flap, so the underside, again it's that base page. I keep forgetting the base pages, and that should be 6 5/8 by 6 5/8 again. And then the cubes, I forgot to put the acetate in, so you need to cut out 2 of this measurement at 2 7/8 by 2 5/8, and then 2 of this measurement also in acetate at 2 3/8 by 2 1/8. So they are the amendments. But as I say, if you haven't printed out your PDF guide already, these amendments will be on there, so they will all be done. It's just if you've already printed it out, you just need to add these in. As I say, we're going to start on page 4. Now page 4 is the flap page, as we've said. Now, where did my flap? Here we go. So these are the measurements that you will need for this page. So page 4. So you need to cut, this is out of your cardstock. So you need to cut out 2 flaps at 3 1/8 by 6. And then you need to score with your short edge up against your trimmer, and you need to score along the long edge at 1/2 inch and at 5/8. You need to do that on both of those flaps. For your booklet, this needs to measure 11.5 by 6.5, and then with your long edge up against your trimmer, you need to score it at 5 3/4 to give you that half booklet closure, to make that into your closure. So coming on to the pattern paper. Now the pattern paper, all I've done for the one for the booklet is I've just cut out one of the pattern paper, because the inside of the booklet I'm going to use up all my scraps. So this needs to be cut at 6 1/4 by 5 5/8. So that's the booklet. You'll need to cut out a base page, and that should be 6 5/8 by 6 5/8. And then your flaps, you'll need 4 of these, and these need to be cut at 2 3/8 by 5 7/8. You will also need to round your edges. So I've rounded all the edges on my flaps, on my base page, and on my flaps, but I haven't yet done my booklet, so we'll do that now. And I'm going to round all 4 corners of the booklet, so that means I need to round all 4 corners of my pattern paper. And then the last thing that you will need will be your folio closure circles. Now these ones I've cut out using the Coolgats folio strip die set, and they are, you get 3 dies in there, and you'll get them, so the 6 on a die strip, and they just make it so much nicer and neater, because the hole is exactly in the center where you put your brad through, so it just makes them look really professional. But if you haven't got those, you can just use, and I've used in the past, a 5/8 circle punch and a 1/2 inch circle punch, but you will need to punch out 18 of the cardstock and then 6 of your pattern paper. And then what I've done is then I've just had the little hole that was on the dies, poked my brads through, inked my edges, and they're ready to then go on. Now we're going to put the flaps on first. So the flaps are going to go this way. So I've made these this small like so because I didn't want it to impede on the side of my page. Now if you want to, you can make them bigger. Again, that's up to you. So you will need to put these on the mounting fold side. Because these are going along the top, we're going to have to put these flaps on the top of our page. So let me just add the glue, the double-sided, just burnish them down. Okay, I will add a little bit of glue on there as well, so it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Like so. Okay, then I'm going to put the top one. Now what I've done is I've pushed my glue tab over so that it's flush, so it's nice and flat, that little gusset. And then I'm just going to turn this round because I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to centralize this flap like so. When I think it's in the right place, I'm just going to fold it over and then burnish that down like so. There we go. And then we do the same. Now this will be a bit tricky because you need to get these not exactly in the same place, but try and get them as near to as that you can. So add my tape again, my glue, and then make sure it's nice and flush. Those score lines are nice and creased, and again just by eye it. Yeah. Oh, about right. Yep. Like so. There we are. Push them down. And then that then is your 2 flaps. Now we can add the pattern paper that goes over the top, and then it's going to hide those glue tabs that are on that page. So make sure they're nice and flat. Add the pattern paper. Make sure it's up the right way if you've got directional paper, like so. Burnish that down. So to add then our holes for our corset closure, so this would be 6, so I'm going to come up 3/4 of an inch, okay, and I'm just going to draw a line. So I'm going to draw a line all the way along. Can you see I've done that? So do it the same on this side. Come down 3/4. So we've come up to there. So now we need to just measure along, because we've got 3. I'm going to come along and do it at 1, at 3, and at 5. Okay, so I've got one at 1, 1 at 3, 1 at 5, like so. Turn it round to do the same on this side. Remember to use that 3/4 inch, not the one I did before. So 1, 3, and 5, all the odd numbers. Okay, so then you can just pokey tool those out. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on the top part of my pattern paper, and I just need a rubber. So taking your rubber, I'm just going to rub off those side lines, because I kind of went a bit too vigorously and I don't want them poking through. You're not going to see this because it's going to be covered by our pattern paper. So pick which ones you're going to use. Now I'm going to put that one on the bottom and then that one on the top, because they kind of match. Make sure that your edges have been inked. I just had a few bits there that were showing white. And we can put this on now. So I'm trialing some different glue. This is the 3D glue by Sticks 2, and I have to say I'm well impressed with it. It's this glue here. It sticks to anything. It's really, really good stuff, I have to say. I am loving it. And then these are the bottles that come from there as well. It saves me having to keep unclogging my glue bottle every 5 minutes. And I just added this bit of tape just around the bottle, and then I can put then my pin in when I'm not using it, because I always lose the pins. So once you've got those, your front flaps on, just poke through from behind your poke holes again, like so, like so. Just make that a little bit bigger. And then what I am going to do on this is I am going to put a little bit of double-sided tape just along them holes, like so, so that when we put our brads in, the brad legs will stick to there, and then over the top of that we'll also put some foundation tape as well, and then that way they will be double secure. So once you've done that, let's find my little circles, put them there, and I'm just going to open these legs up again. Now I think I just forgot and just closed them up. Right, and then just poke them through your holes, and then make sure that the brad legs are going to go across that double-sided tape, and then they will stick in place, and then they will stick down. I'll show you now, just so that you can see, because I can't, for some reason with this camera, I can't zoom down. Don't know why. I have to have a look at it. So that's one. So you need to go ahead and put all of them on. Okay, so that's the 6 on. So now you can go ahead and just cover up that double-sided tape, and like so, and then I've just put it over the top, and then that way it just double keeps those brad legs from pinging open. But make sure you don't go right to the top, as you don't want the tape to show at the top. So like that. Put this one on this side. Just take that bit off. There we are. So then that is them done. So then you can go ahead and then add your pattern paper on this side. Again, just make sure that you've inked all the edges. I had an awful thought then that I'd done this, I'd put this the wrong way round. That's happened before. If it's happened to you, leave a comment in the comment box. What is the most worst mistake that you've made, that you've had to do? So I've got some wax thread here. It's really good. It does keep its shape, and it's what you use if you do leather craft. It's what they use to stitch with. So it's just wax cotton, and it comes in different colours as well. I've just got a brown one because that's one I had out, but it looks really effective, especially when you add on some little tassels as well. So I'm going to start at the top, and I just put the cotton around that brad so that it's behind the circles, and then you add, or you just put in a double knot. Oh, I'm going to put in a couple of knots, and that just keeps it from opening up, like so, and then cut off that excess end. Okay, once you go round, that will sort of right itself and go inside. So once you've done that, I'm going to go to the next one, so around here, then up. So you've gone either alternatives. So you go from the left side to the middle to the right, then down the right side, around that those circles up to the middle, back down to the left, and then up again to that side there. Now I'm going to add quite a bit of that left over. Now I haven't tightened that up, I've sort of left it. So let's get out a little tassel. Now these tassels, you can colour them as well, so if you wanted one that was brown, these would be ideal for that. Now these will be available very shortly in my shop. If you are interested, again, leave me a comment. Right, so we're just going to tie that on like so. And like so. And then I'm just going to take this bit off like there. And then that is that page done. So the only thing left to do would be to add our patterned paper to the back of our booklet. So again, as I said, I'm not going to do the inside of this booklet. I'm going to wait and see what pattern paper I've got left, and then we can go from there. I just had a thought that this might look quite nice. You could put so you could actually then put in here, you could put some sheets of paper and have it more as a little notebook rather than a booklet. So I'm just going to add that like so. So then what you do is in through here you can put your you could have copy of paper will just go in there, and then I'll put this up to the top like so. Give that another pull so it's nice and tight. Pull that over. Then I'm going to add another tassel to both of these. So that's one, and should we go this way? So we go. Do you know what I've always wanted to try and learn how to do is to try and do, you know, like they do knots on boats and things, like ship knots, and I don't know why I've always wanted to learn how to do different knots. But I've never done it. I don't know why. Maybe that's something that I can do in the near future as a hobby. So I've just put my little tassel on like so. Now you could add some beads on there as well if you wanted. That would look quite nice. But then you put that in there and it just gives another feature to your book like so. Now this it's quite a bit of space in there, so you could add some little notebook pages as well. So that's that page then. So working. Okay, so on to our cube page now. So I'm going to give you the measurements for the cardstock first. So that will start with the page flap. Now the page flap is 6 3/4 by 7 1/4, and with the long edge down the side of your trimmer, you're going to score along that short edge at 1/2 inch to create your glue tab for that one. Then coming on to the page protectors, now you're going to want 2 of these at 1 inch by 6 5/8, and then with the short edge up against your trimmer and the long edge along this top, you're going to score that at 1/2 inch to create a page protector. So then we come on to the cube mechanisms, and you're going to cube 1, you need to cut that at 7 inches by 6 inches, and then cube 2 is 6 inches by 5 inches. You'll also need one of your pages that we made in the, I think it was part 1, we made up the pages for album 1, and they're the sleeve page ones, so if you grab one of those as well. So coming on then to our patterned paper. Now the patterned paper, I will do it like this. So for the base page, so when I say base page, this is going to go onto the back of our flap. So this is 6 5/8 by 6 5/8. That's going to go into the back of your flap. Then you'll need base page 1, part 1. Now that's going to measure 5 inches by 6 5/8. And then the part 2 is going to measure 2.5 by 6 5/8. Then the next page pocket, so this is the pocket on the flap, and part 1 is 5.5 by 6 5/8, and then part 2 is 2 inches by 6 5/8. So that's those. Now coming on to the cube pieces, now you're going to need to cut out 8 of cube 1, and that measures 2 7/8 by 2 5/8. And you'll also need to cut out 2 of the acetate windows, and they are going to measure the same as that, which is 2 7/8 by 5 5, get that right. This is going to measure 2 7/8 by 2 5/8. Again, 2 of those, and then 2 of the smaller acetate windows, and they're going to measure 2 3/8 by 2 1/8. So one of those. And then we go on to the smaller cube pattern paper, and they are going to measure 2 3/8 by 2 1/8. And again, you'll need 8 of these. And then we'll go into a bit more detail of what we need to do with those in a moment. And then the last bit of kit that we have got here is our cube strips. And so cube 1, they are 3/8 by 2 1/4, and cube 2 is 3/8 by 2 7/8. Okay, so that's all of those. Now I'm going to round my corners, so we're just going to put the cube pieces away for the moment, because we're not, and the page protectors, because we don't want those, but bring in our page and our flap and all of our patterned paper, and we are going to round the edges on those. So we'll start on the cardstock. Now the flap, I'm going to round all the edges, sorry, all the corners, like so. So when I round the corners of these that have got a flap, I just tuck that flap under and then cut that bit off as well. But that will be mitered, so you can miter those edges off actually. There we go. So that's going to fit into our pocket. So then we're going to come along and do the page. And again, this is all 4 sides, like so. And then we come on to our patterned paper. So I'm going to start with the full image, full page first, and just go around those. And then this is going to be my top, and this is going to be the bottom. So I'm going to leave the top piece here, and I'm going to just round those corners at the bottom. And then this is going to be my top of that page, and I'm going to just round those 2 corners at the top, like so. And then again, this is going to be the top, this is going to be the top, and this is going to be the bottom, because this goes on my cube page. So I'm going to round the 2 top corners here, and then the 2 corners at the bottom, like so. And then I'll go ahead and ink all my edges so that they're all done. I'll leave the cube ones until last. Okay, so my edges have all been inked, and it's now time to start to assemble. So I'm going to start with this full page first, but before I put that on, I'm going to attach my flap. So to do that, I need some double-sided tape, and that's going to go onto the valley fold side of the glue tab. So burnish that down. I'm also going to add a little bit of glue as for my wiggle room. Okay, and then just wiggle that on. And I'm going to put this into the sleeve, and I'm just going to butt it up to that scored edge that we've got there. Okay, like so. Try and get it so that it's level, and if you've used glue, that does give you some open time to just wiggle it about. So that will now stick. So then that is that page done. So we can stick our page that is going to go, this goes underneath, this is underneath the flap. So if you've used the Cool Cats dies or anything similar, then don't forget not to put your glue anywhere near the triangles, the white triangles, otherwise you won't get that piece of paper out. So let's put this in, get that straight. Here we are. So that's on there. So then we'll do this top page here, and this top page I'm going to do this as our page. So I'm going to stick the smaller piece on first. That goes on there. So coming on to the page protector and how we put that on, I did show you in I think it was the part before this how to do it, but I'll show you again. All I do is I put my tape on the valley fold side on each side of that scored edge, but what I do is I just take off one part of the double-sided tape. I'm going to just add a little bit of glue just to give me some wiggle time, and so with the side that you've got the double-sided tape backing on, we're going to put that at the bottom, just maneuver our piece into that scored edge, bring the page protector up, okay, push it in, and then as you're pushing in, push over the cardstock, okay, and then you should get it into place. Then you can just turn it over, take this part of the double-sided off, add your glue, and then fold it over, and it's done. And it takes out all of that fiddling about. So this is going to go onto our page like so. So I'm going to add a little bit of double-sided tape along the bottom as well as some glue, like so, and then I'm going to put some glue along the sides and along that side. Just take off that tape, and then I'll line the bottom bit up and get it pushed into place. Okay, and then that is one side done. Okay, I've just got to cut them out, but I'll do that in just a second. So moving on to this page, now this is going to be my top, so that's the top, and this is the bottom, because I wanted the smaller pocket at the bottom than more so at the top like the one on the outside. So just add your double-sided tape like so. Burnish it down with your fingers, take one side off, add your glue for your wiggle room, and then we can just place it onto the side that hasn't got that's still got the backing on. Push that over, making sure your sides are even and level, and just push that down, turn it over, take off that backing, add your glue, push down. Okay, so that is that done. So this time we're going to add the top first, because this is going to be stuck down. So add that here. Add that onto the top, like so. Okay, take the backing off of that, add your glue. Okay, and then just push that onto that side. Yeah, pull that up, and then just push that down. So let me cut the strips for the pocket protectors now, and they were 3/8 by 6 1/2, and we need to cut 2. Just give these a little distress. I'll ink the edges. Okay, add the glue. I'm not going to bother adding double-sided glue, it's just fine, and then that can go on there like so. Then we'll do the next one, turn it over, and then we add it up here, and then all we've got then is the photo mats to print out, to cut out, but as I say, we'll do that at the last minute. So you bringing your cube 1, you'll also need a pencil, but a pretty sharp one if you have got one. So we're going to start with it looking like this. So we've got cube 1. So our cube 1 is the 7 by 6 1/2. Now make sure that you've got your 7-inch measurement down the side of your trimmer, because that's where we're going to do these score lines. So these score lines need to go at 1/2 by 3 3/4, 3 3/4, and 6 1/2. Okay. We're then going to turn it 90 degrees. So we've got now the 6-inch mark down the side. Now what we need to do with that is we need to score it at 3 inches. So first of all, let's just fold the tops and the bottom over. So fold those score lines over, okay, like so. Although we can open them for the moment. So now what we're going to do is we need to draw our pencil lines around to create our frame. Now I find it easier to put my pencil lines on rather than to cut it, because then I know where I'm going to cut. So we need to draw a 3/8 of an inch gap, frame around the top. So round this top bit here. So sorry, we're going to work it from this way. So we work it from this way, not the other way. This is the back, this is the front. Okay, so we can write on there back if you like, and then right front there, then we'll know. So with the front facing upwards, we've bent our 1/2 inch glue tab over. We're going to measure 3/8 of an inch up. Okay, then we're just going to get our pencil and we're going to just draw in that set. So I've got a little gap in my trimmer where my blade goes. I've just drawn a pencil line. Now that gives me a 3/8 of an inch gap, or it's going to be a frame. Now remember, we're not going to put anything on the back, it is on the front, so we just need to put our frame around the front. So just draw down to that line. Okay, I think that is my, there we go. Then we turn it round. Now I'm going to bend that over so that I've got it's on the first score line from the front. Push that in, put your next line on, turn it round and do the same on this side, 3/8, and then it goes up like so. So that is your first bit. Now what we're going to do, oh sorry, I did forget one thing. So bend it in half again and do the 3/8 of an inch frame around 1 cube, and then turn it over and do it round on the other side. Okay, and it looks like that. So we're going to leave that to the side and we're going to do the next one while we've got our trimmer out. So this is the same. Make sure you've got your 6-inch measurement down the side of your trimmer, because this is what we're going to measure from. So on these ones we are going to do exactly the same thing. So our score lines for this will be 1/2 inch, 2 3/4, 3 1/4, and 5 1/2. Turn it 90 degrees and we're going to score in the middle at 2 1/2. Okay, like so. So next is our frame. So the frame is the same. It's a 3/8 frame. So let's get that there. Get your pencil. 3/8. Turn it round. And I've done the back, but you don't need to do the back, it's just the front. There we go. So bend it over so that you've got that one side, so we can do that frame around the middle bit, and then bend that in half, and then we can do the frame on those two sides. So 1, turn it over, and 2. Okay, so then that's, oh, that didn't, and then you've got your pencil lines on there like so. So again, don't worry too much about one side of it. I mean, I've got them, my pencil lines all around there, so I'm just going to rub them off like so, so that we've just got the two. Okay, so once So we're going to bring it back in our cube 1, and where we've put our pencil lines, we now are going to cut this out. So this front bit here, they're going to come out. So if you want to, you can line up your lines again. You just want to cut out that frame. So that's one. I'll turn this round, and then I'm going to just line up that line in between the gully of my trimmer. Just come along to that pencil line and come along to that pencil line. So you've cut that bit out. Come along again here. Okay, get that pencil line down. Just bring it down so that you get to that part. The last bit here. Come along until you cut that square out like so. So do the same on the other side. It will be a bit tricky. You just have to really concentrate and just double check, and if you want to triple check that you've got it in the right space in the right place and you're not cutting where you shouldn't be, like so. And come round and do this side. I'm just, that's it, move my blade up. I think I could do with just a tiny bit there, and then this last bit here. And that should hopefully be that bigger one done. So then when we come to fold it all together, you will end up with a small cube. As you can see, that's like a little tiny cube, but we'll come to the next part in just a minute. So coming on and doing then the small cube, exactly the same principle. So I'm just going to rub these lines out. Don't go too vigorous on the rubbing out because you don't want to end up breaking your cube. Okay. So I'm just going to bring in my other one so that I can just show you. So on this one, can you see here, this bit here is open? Okay, so this bit is open, and then if I turn it over, and you can see on the back, the top one here is open. Okay, so how we do that is, so this is my bottom one, so I'm going to open this front bit here. So we don't want to cut into the back, we just want to cut into this bit here, and we want to cut all the way down to this point here. We're going to cut it first of all, and then we'll put it together. So just, if you want to draw a line, you can do, but I think I've got that kind of central, I think. So we go from the top here just to this second. You've got one score line, two score lines, so you're going down to the third score line, all the way down the middle, like so, so that you've created two cubes. Okay, so it looks a little bit like that, like some legs type thing. So you've done that one on the front, so this one needs to be on the back. So you're going to cut this is your second cube, cube 2, so you're going to cut this one on the back, the one that hasn't got any of the frames on, and we're going to cut that one all the way from the top to this point here. Okay, again, make sure that it's in the middle. Okay, and then all the way up. Okay, like so. I'm just bending them over. So we're going to be working on the pattern paper for the bigger cubes now. Cube 1, I've got cut 4 at 2 7/8 by 2 5/8, and then cut another 4 exactly the same measurement. But 4 of them are going to be a frame and 4 of them are going to be solid. So I've cut out 3 frames already, and so I've got 1 left to do. So I've cut through, so you'll need to cut 4. So I've cut 3 already. I've got my 3 frames here, that my 4 solid frames here, like so. 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3, and I've got 1 extra one, so 4. So with this we need to make a frame that is 3/8 of an inch. No, sorry, it's not. A 1/4 of an inch frame. So again, I'm just going to use my pencil. Now you can, if you want to draw on the back, but if you've got very dark paper, I just find it so much easier for me to put the actual pencil mark in, because when we come to then look at it at the corners, we can then find, we actually know then where to cut up to. It gives us our guide. So I've just sharpened my pencil again, so 1/4 of an inch all the way round. And these you can rub these pencil marks out afterwards, and there. So that's your 1/4 inch frame. So now we need to just cut it out. So it's exactly the same principle as the cubes. Just go around, take your guide up to that pencil line in the corner, turn it round, do the same thing, turn it around, do the same on this side. So take that out, and if you've got some nicks in the corner, just break them off. So that then is the 4. So you go ahead and do exactly the same thing with those, and remember, just 4. And then for and it's the same principle with the smaller frames as the smaller cube as well. So you've got 3 so you have 4 of the cutout frames and 4 of the solid frames. So again, this is a 1/4 inch frame all the way round, and again I'm just going to draw my lines in. I find it easier then to do that than just trying to guess it. So there's my one. And being it with a small, it's a very small measurement as well. It can be a little bit tricky, but take your time and you'll get it right. Last one. Just got a few little bits there that I missed. I'm just going to pull that off. Okay, so that then is, so go ahead then and do that same technique with 3 others. So we can put this away for just a moment. So now we just need to ink, because I didn't ink, so I'm going to time jump. Okay, that's all of my pieces inked and ready to go. Now I'm not going to going to rub off the pencil lines when they're like this. I'm going to wait until they're actually on my cubes before I do that, because then they've got a bit more taut with them, so they're not going to buckle and bend and break. So with these, I'm going to put the pieces, that one I'm going to put on the back. So they're just going to go around the edge. So these ones are the frames. So again, just put your glue around them and then put them into place and just wiggle them so that they are where you want them to be, like so. Okay, next one. So then we can move on to the back. So the next two frames go just on the inside of your cubes, like so. And this last one like so. Now this one I think I've cut a little bit too short on one edge, but it's not going to make too much difference because you're not really going to see it. It's just if you saw the from the back, you've got, at least you've got some pattern paper behind it. So make sure they're up the right way if you've got directional paper. So this is just going to go on the back here. But in here you could put your photos if you wanted to, but I just wanted to bring them out so that you can interchange them. So that's that side, and then on the back, like so. And like so. Now do exactly the same with the smaller cube. One other thing, sorry, that we need to do is just on the top here, we need to do our one thing I did forget to do was just to trim that part off there, like so. So that makes them two separate pieces. It's going to go like that. So you can put your glue on here now, and we can start to glue these together. Now you can use double-sided tape if you want to. I'm just going to push that up, push that down, so that we've got a nice, because they need to move, like so. And do the same with this one. Glue and push them on, push it down, make sure that they move. There we go, so that they are quite bendy. Now what we're also going to do now is just put on our strips that go on the top here, like so, because what I want, these need to be dry before we can put the tops on the other cube on the top. So I'm just putting some double-sided down. I'll also put a little bit of glue, and then that will hopefully be setting by the time we come to put the tops on. So just turn that around. Next one. And just your glue. And then just push it on like so. Okay, then we leave that to set, and we can go ahead and finish this one with our pattern paper and our bits and pieces. Oh, I did forget to put in our acetate window, but that's not a problem because I can just put our tape along the top and the bottom. I'll take it off and then take that piece off, and then I'll just slide it in like so, and then push it onto that bit. There we go. There. Job's a good one. Okay. Actually, that's good. That's one. So the next one, I'll remember to put them on the on first one before I do the next one. Okay. So again, just push that through. Push it through this side actually. Turn that over. There we are. That's good. And then I'll put them on now, then I won't forget. I'll put these on first. Just make sure I get the right way. So I'm going to put them just at the top, the double-sided tape, the top and the bottom. So that's 1 and 2. Sorry, they're going at the side. I don't know why I said top and bottom. At the side. Oh, it's not very straight. That'll do, because you're not going to see that this side. This is what happens now I've lost the other sheet. I'll find it in a second. Okay, I found it here. Well, I didn't find it. I had to recut a new one. I'll find it now that I've cut this one. That's the thing. If you don't put your acetate on something dark, it gets lost. So just put these on like so, and then we can put these bits then over the top, and then it's going to hide it. You won't see, as I say, you can't really see them that way, but you know, just two different ways I suppose. So let's put our backing one on. Actually, I'd like that on the front. That can go on the front. And that. Turn these over. That goes on there like so. And this goes on this side. And then we can put the backs on. So you can just decide what you want to see. I'm going to have that. That goes on there like that. Now I did think about using the bit that you've cut out of your piece of pattern paper, but it wasn't. It was just that bit too small. So that's why I've sort of gone with the thing of cutting out, you know, 4 different squares. So these ones can go on the back, like so. This last one, like so. And then we just need to snip that bit there, which I forgot to do again as well. I think, yes, that bit just there. And then we can put these over. So again, just put your glue on one side and then just move it backwards and forwards so that you've got it nice and stuck. Use your bone folder if you need to. Again, glue, put a bit of glue on that, fold that over, fold that back, and just turn these that way, like so. So this then is the top of your pyramid, your cube tower. I'm just now putting the tiny little strips on that go on the top, like so. Yeah. And then they are finished. Now this now should be virtually dry, so this would be ready now. We can start to put it into our book. So open it up. Now we can then think about where this goes. So this needs to go on your page like so. Now we're going to put one side on first and then we will attach the second side. The main thing is to keep your center of your cube in the center here of your fold in your paper. So I'm going to add some double-sided tape to this side, but not, it's going to go on this side first. So it needs to go on the bottom, not on the top. So the one where you haven't got any patterned paper. So just burnish that down. And that can stay on there. Take that off. Okay, I am going to add a little bit of glue. Okay, now get it so that it's nice and firm, and then just get it so that this side, as I say, is stuck, so that the center of your cube is on the center of that folded line, so that when we come to fold this over, it is going to all fold down. So this needs to go there. I'm just going to try it. So it needs to go kind of like that. Let's move that over. So there and over. So it needs to go kind of like about there. Just double checking because I don't want to get it. It's not in the right place. There we go. Yes. So with that stuck down, keep it pressed down so it's nice and stuck. Then we can take off this next double-sided sheet. And what I think I might do is put it so that this is that it's like doubled over here, and then I'm going to bring this round to fit on the top, and then when that comes up, that should be in the right spot, and it is. So give that a good burnish down. Okay. So this one is the tricky one because this needs to go. So you've put your cubes so that they go with the score or the fold facing up, and then your second smaller cube needs to go with the fold facing inwards, like so. So I'm going to put it sort of there. I know you probably can't see, so I'm going to put it like that on the top. But you don't need your double-sided tape on all of it, so I'm just going to try and mark it how I can. So if I go this way, let's see if I can just mark it by eye. So I want glue there and there and there and there. Okay, let's try that. It's all technical, this is. So let's glue, glue, and then glue and glue. Take this double-sided off. One. And again, I'm just going to take it off the one side first of all. So we'll just stick that bit down. We'll fold that over like so. Now what I may have to do is, for some reason this is a bit thicker, I don't know how, but I may have to add something else there to keep it shut. Maybe I can put the belly band on there, but I think once it's been stuck down a few times and the paper gets its memory, then it will be okay. So I'm just taking that double-sided tape off. I'm going to bring that round and stick that next side on, and then that's now stuck beautifully. So let's turn it out, and then you can see that it has stuck, and it will keep its stick, I promise you. So let's get it stuck into our book. So double-sided tape onto the hinge on both sides of the hinge. So 1, 2, take that off and come along with that side and take this next bit off. Put the glue in the little sleeve just along the edge, and then just push it shut and then open it up, and then that transfers that glue. Okay, push that over, and I say I am going to have to put something on there to keep that closed. I did put magnets onto this page, but unfortunately they weren't strong enough to keep the page and the flap closed. So what I have decided to do is use the belly band that I was going to use on page 2 on this page here. If you want to know how to make the belly band, I will put the video up after this one has ended. Now the measurements for the belly band are on your PDF, so you would be able to get your measurements from there. So thanks again for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and our cubes. I've enjoyed making them, I really have. They're really good fun. Now in the little pocket here I have made up some little photo mats that are the right size to go inside our cube. I haven't actually put them in yet, because what I thought I may do is maybe put some removable tape on the back so that you can interchange the photo slots that are in the cubes, like so. So the reason how I've made these is just with my corner punch and some white and black card. But I will put in, I won't make these on camera, I'll just leave them there. They're only 2 inch by 2 inch and 2.5 by 2 1/4. That's the 2 different sizes that I used here, like that. So thanks ever so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you have, and comment something. I would love to read all your comments, and please subscribe to the channel. It really does make a difference if you just hit that notification bell as well. That way you will be notified every time I upload new content. And I'm on all the social media, so please come and join me on there. All the links, as always, will be in the description box down below. So please don't forget to check out that description box. There is lots and lots and lots of information in there, as well as links to my shop as well, if you would like to buy this kit ready for you to be able to make up at home. As I say, all you have to add is your own pattern paper and a few of the different embellishments as well. But all the metal embellishments are included, as well as all the pre-cut grey board as well. And it's 2mm grey board, so it's really good, good construction board as well. So thanks again for watching. Whatever you're doing and wherever you are, please have a really good day. See you again soon. Bye. The belly band that is going to fit on this page here, what I've decided to do is I'm going to use the belly band that I had already cut out and made for this page here, but I didn't use it in the end. So I've still got this belly band here, but because I was having trouble with my magnet sticking because of the bulk that was in that page, I thought I was going to use my belly band on this. Now the only problem is if I put my belly band on like that and have it come off, this is going to impede on this page that we're going to do next. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to cut this down at the beginning, just so that I've got a smaller piece, and I'm going to keep this piece, but I'm going to cut this down so that I've got a bit of a glue tab. So I'm going to cut it down to about 1 inch. So from your score line here, you're going to cut it down 1 inch. It doesn't have to be precise because we're not going to see this. So again, do the same for this. Cut it down to 1 inch. Like so. Now, you won't have put your paper on here, so don't you worry about that. You'd have kept your paper off. I'm only going to take mine off because I don't want that added bulk underneath my page. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these as a fixed belly band rather than one that you take off. So I'm just taking off that excess paper that we don't need. Move this out of the way. Bring in my page. And we're going to stick it along at the back here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm sort of going to be by-eyeing it really. So I'm going to get it to where I want to on this page. So where I want to there, I'm going to turn it over, just using a pencil. I'm going to just mark that side like so. And then I'll bring in my ruler and I'll just measure that, and that's 3/8 of an inch. Measure along 3/8 there. Okay, I'm going to just draw a line, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to put my other flap up against that line there. So I did have some glue, Again, you can use double-sided tape if you want to. So I'm making sure I've gotten it the right way. So it goes that way, I think. Yes. So I want my glue on the valley fold side. There we are. Okay, bring this round and just line it up. So line it up with that score line, with this first score line hanging over just slightly over the edge of the page so that that can go round. Okay, move that down so it slipped as I turned it over. Okay, that's one. Let's bring in number 2. And then number 2 is going to go on here. Again, bring that in there. Okay, so I've got my gold wax thread, and I'm going to start at the top and just do a knot and another knot. Just tie it twice, and we'd cut off the end of that wax cotton there because we don't need that. Okay, then I'm going to bring it down to this next one like so. Pull it as tight as you can, bring it up to the one on the end, again pull it as tight as you can, and then come round and then up and then across to this one. Ooh, and then up to the last one, so the first one that you actually used. I'm going to cut that off, get myself a little tassel, and we can put these on. You can have it as far or as long as short as you want to. Okay, like so. Cut that bit off there, and then that is that closure done. So you just need to open that up like so, and then you've got your page. So thanks again for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and give me a thumbs up and a like and a comment, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.